A very warm welcome to the eRacing GP Series Global Edition Season 5, remarkably. It's all the fault of Alex Young, who's alongside me, to look forward to the gold class races that we have got coming up. We are in round 4 of Season 5, the penultimate round, and we're at the Aragon circuit in Spain, the virtual Aragon circuit. But the real-life graphics are very good, Alex, and it's a lovely, lovely venue.
It is a lovely venue. Got quite a bit of up and down. It goes around a hill and stuff. And on paper, it looks like a great track to drive, and it is quite good. MotoGP riders love it. Got a lot of bike racing here. Renault 3.5s used to come here, but it's no Formula 2, Formula 1 at the moment. It's quite a tricky track. A lot of the corners tying up on yourself. So if you're an impatient driver, you always have problems with track limits. So the patient drivers tend to be rewarded here.
Okay, but the good drivers are at the top of the championships. In eRacing GP, there are 4 levels of drivers. We have bronze, silver, gold and copper class. And here are the 4 championship leaders. Coming into round 4, Kelvin Powell from Malaysia and Bernard Chan lead the copper and bronze classes respectively. Nurshaz Lizan has just taken an extra grip on the silver edition with a win in race 4, in a race that we showed earlier. Naqeem Aslan, chasing his first ever eRGP title, is the man who leads the way in the gold edition ahead of Josh Purwien and Muhammad Thasbeeh. So they are the championship leaders. You have the 4 categories, which is great, but it is the creme de la creme, the gold class boys who we're really most focused in. And just to show you how good they are, let's have a look at the highlights from the last time out at Watkins Glen. We are on board with Inigo Anton as we are underway, and Inigo gets off to a solid start. Muhammad Aqeem, who put in a big lap in P2, and Purwien in the pink in P3. Inigo Anton, nerves can sometimes get the better of him, but that's a clean start for the Filipino. 2 young Malaysians there who we know are quick. Hakimi and Harris both having a real pop at this one early on, Ammo.
Oh, indeed. Oh, Josh is in the
Purwien, and who's that dropped off? Naqeem Aslan.
The championship protagonist here, who's been the brightest mate, never the bright for 3 times now, would like to actually get one better over Thasbeeh and the rest of the field here as he goes side by side, coming to the back straight. The easy overtaking maneuver, and the DRS actually pay dividends for him there. Second place as Harris tries to defend, tries to go on the inside of Thasbeeh. Thasbeeh blocks it, and that might actually be crucial for Naqeem to make his escape from the rest of the field as well.
Okay, terrific from Naqeem. You really got to put your hands up to him. Starting in P10, a lot of traffic. We were told, and we've got evidence that it's a difficult track to overtake on. Yet he just eased himself, unseen almost, into P5, and now has manipulated himself into P1.
Now he's going to be under complete pressure from not just 1 driver, but 3. They're going to go 3 wide here on the back straight. Harris are on the outside, and look at that, he's getting swamped there by the 3 drivers who all have DRS.
Naqeem is still holding on. Haris Efrishami goes into P2 for the first time in this race. Purwien overtakes Inigo Anton. So Anton, having been race leader 1 lap ago, is now P4.
But having said that, look at that. That DRS toe is actually enough for Josh to actually get at the back of him. Now Naqeem has to defend for his life here, unless he just gives way like that. And unfortunately for him, Josh takes the lead of the race. Harris also follows suit.
Josh Purwien leads for the very first time. Harris Effie in P2. Naqeem under pressure, not only for P1, but for P4, because Inigo Anton had a little look as well. But Josh Purwien, oh, he looks like he's timed this wonderfully, Ammo. But Purwien leads. Naqeem in P2. And Josh Purwien, Ammo, as he takes the victory. Naqeem clings onto 2. Harris Effie 3. Josh Purwien and Naqeem Aslan down in P2. Who gets away quickest? Muhammad Aqeem has got away to a very, very fast start. He's up into P3. Mika did well in race number 1 and then was barged off. Brody Steen. Tadashi was low down as well. Tadashi will be looking to make amends. And the start, though, from Muhammad Khalif and Hakimi Ammo has got them off to a 1-2 start.
He'll be hoping to avoid that time around, because remember, he got swamped by the guys who are in 2nd and 3rd and 4th to prevent the win, as Mika goes into the lead on the inside. Khalif
up at the front. Tadashi may well be making his manoeuvre on the long straight. Indeed he is. Sweeps past Muhammad Aqeem. We have a new race leader.
But Inigo now has the invitation to try and take the lead here as they go through the S's. Look at that, he's using his DRS right now. through the S's here. Onto the grass he goes, he spins! Oh, it's a hard spin! He's gonna spin into the rest of the field! That was not smart at all, actually, sorry to say. Anton should have waited for that. And now, Mika Hakimi goes around the outside, and he takes the lead.
Mika Hakimi is the new race leader. Inigo Anton cannot believe what he has just done. But you don't write off Tadashi, not yet. And you don't give this victory to Hakimi, not yet. Behind them, Mohammed Nabil, Kalen Chin has got himself up into P4. Tadashi wants this ammo. Tadashi is going to chase this right to the line. But it's Mika Hakimi who takes the victory from Ayman Aqeem, Tadashi, Nabil, Kalen Chin, Khalif, Ayman Haziq, Nakib ahead of Thasbeeh. So terrific stuff in the championship standings, though. Despite not ending on the podium for the first time this season, Nakib Aslan has a healthy lead from Josh Purwien. Muhammad Thasbeeh 70, Tadashi a P2 in the race we've just seen in P4 with 65 points. Mika Hakimi joining the top 10 just ahead of Lai Sky from Macau. That's the championship standings in the gold class. In the Nations Cup, Malaysia bossing it, 426 points, ahead of Singaporeans and Philippines. And in the team standing, look how close this is. Stratos Motorsports, represented by Nakib Aslan, just 2 points clear of Tedco X Project Moo Racing. We'll keep a close eye on that over the next 2 rounds. So it's getting pretty exciting. Nakib Aslan is obviously the main man, Alex Young, but he didn't end on the podium for the first time this season.
Yeah, but it's going to be very close. I can't call it, it's going to be very close between Nakib and Josh. They've been fighting out tooth and nail. It's great to see Josh winning again, because he hadn't won a race in the RGP in 2 Global Edition 5 for I think 4 editions. So it's great to see him up there again, and it's going to be very close.
We also saw that Tadashi, Ayman Aqeem, Tadashi's a nickname, but it's sticking. He got a P2 there. He's also going to give us a flying lap around the Aragon circuit. So let's enjoy the unique commentary of Ayman Aqeem Tadashi.
Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there. As you can see, there's some kind of ball curves there, that's what we call it. Do not hit it. It'll damage the suspension, especially for the F3 guys. And 6 gears, down to the first turn, 2nd gear. Clip the apex, 3rd gear. Long right-hander here. 4th gear. Oh, that's a big hit there. Definitely is gonna go and damage a little bit. You don't want that in the race. You damage the suspension, obviously. As you can see here, 4th gear. Spot your braking right. 2nd gear and a little bit of exit over there. And we're coming down to the most unique section of the track. Here is coming down to the right and left section. Going down, oh, a little bit of oversteer there. 3rd gear, 4th gear. Opens up the throttle a little bit just the car to rotate. 4th gear, 5th gear. And coming out to this section, look at on your right side. That is the curb. That is your braking point actually. That is the reference for your braking point. And it's a little bit of blind corner, so yeah, it's gonna be tricky. So 4th gear over here, 2nd gear here. Careful of the ball curve again. A little bit oversteer and coming down to the long straight. Obviously this one is more longer than the Hockenheim ring we had before, and you can plan all the overtakes here. And as you can see that on the left side over here, I was coming past by. This is the motorcycle layout. We're not going to use that. Spot the braking, 3rd, 2nd, 1st gear, hairpin, 1st gear, 2nd gear, careful of the wheel spin on the worn tires, 3rd gear, 4th gear, coming down to the straight, wave out to the fans, wave out to the pit crew, and that's it. 1 lap of Aragon circuit.
And a wave also to the sponsors of eRacing GP. Great little flying lap there from Ayman Aqeem. But Alex, the sponsors, we rarely give them a mention, and we really should do.
Of course, Race Room, they gave us this fantastic platform. One of the best simulating games, if not one of the best simulating games in the world. Of course, X Park, some way, we want to do adventuring 4x4, all sorts of stuff you can do at X Park. Of course, Royal Selangor. I will mention Axel as well, but Axel's me. Royal Selangor Pewter, but also gold and silver. You know, all the beautiful trophies are being done by Royal Selangor. Motorsport Playground's doing some of the liveries as well, and of course Life, who are doing all our great T-shirts.
Indeed. X-Park, I got my fastest lap time there a couple of weeks ago. I'll be back there practicing again. Anyway, enough of that, and on to the race itself. And we're going around Aragon. The drivers have got about 30 seconds. In fact, practice has just ended. But a couple of interesting wild cards have made their appearance. Alessandro, the Italian, is joining us, Alex, and we'll see how he copes. He was fastest in practice. But also the four-time champion, Muhammad Alif Hamilton, is here as well. Sorry, three-time champion Muhammad Alif Hamilton is here as well. We'll talk about him in a while, but firstly talk to me about Alessandro Ottaviani.
Okay, so he's one of the top sim racers in the world, and he's joining us from Italy today. So the ping's not too bad. I had a look at it. It's only 250, so it's definitely manageable. Ping, and for those that don't know, ping is the latency. Obviously he's a bit far away from our server here in Asia, but it's okay. 250 is all right, and it's great to have him on board. He's real great at R Factor. He's good at Race Room as well, and he's going to be in the hunt for a win definitely as we watch him go through turns 1 and 2. Don't forget, he does not have any success ballast as well, so because Nakib and Josh do. So great for Alessandro to come in and join us and maybe even pinch a win with his first race with us.
Yeah, it's a useful wild card to come in, and expanding the brand is always good. A little wiggle as he comes up the hill here, but his line looks pretty good, looks very smooth as he comes around this long right-hander. A little bit of back wheel spin there, fastest through sector 1, which you'd expect this early, but a 27.8 is fast.
Yeah, and it is. Purple at the moment, looking very good. You can see how aggressive he is. He knows how to just use every inch of the track and a bit more. Look how much road he uses there. Now as we go through turn 11, turn 10 actually, easy flat. Not easy flat actually, you have to have a bit of a lift through turn 10 in a DTM car. And then turn 11, which is easy flat. For braking for turn 12, that's it. Straddles the curb. Nicely done. You can see how much he's pushing through here. Is he flat through turn 13? I think so, just about. Now the most crucial part of the track, turn 15, this left-hander coming up. Need to get a good exit out of here because it leads onto this long back straight. 1.2 kilometers long this back straight is.
117.2 by some way fastest.
So he's purple again. This will be good enough for fastest, I think. Will it be good to stay there though? 3 minutes still to remaining. Now the hairpin, the last real corner left on the track. Ooh, runs wide a bit, misses the apex a bit, but that's okay. Then this right and left-hander, easy flat through this in the DTM 2016 cars. He is in the Mercedes, and as he crosses the start-finish line, for now at least, this should put him on pole.
Ottaviani goes into... Oh, no. Is that P1?
That's
if
P1.
It is, it's by thousandth of a second.
Thasbeeh.
Thasbeeh P2, Nabil 3, Muhammad Alif Hamilton. Let's focus on the wild cards just for a moment, Alex. We'll get to the championship leaders themselves, but it's great to see the three-time champion Alif Hamilton back racing, and he's got some genuine opposition.
Yeah, so it's great to see him here. He was winner of Global Edition 1, Global Edition 2, Global Edition 3. He is back racing. He's using the second rig in the home. Of course, his brother, Muhammad Thasbeeh, who's second right now, is using the nicer rig. But it's great to see Alif back. He's arguably the best simulator driver in the region. You know, he wins in everything he does. He hasn't been able to join us for Global Edition 5 because he's obviously doing national service back in Singapore, so hasn't been able to join us for all the races. But it's great to have him back, even if he is using a G27 and not the nice rig. But looking good, doesn't matter what he's using. Paul Workman always playing the tools, and Leaf still gets it done. He's a 10th down on Ottaviani at the moment. But, a 10th is certainly recoverable with 2 more sectors to go.
I just need to break off because Nakib Aslan, Alex, needs to put in a decent lap. He is 3/10 down on the fastest. Fastest is now Inigo Anton. Now, Anton is one of 5 with a mathematical chance of catching Nakib Aslan. The others are Josh Purwien, Thasbeeh, Tadashi, maybe Nabil Aslan as well. But this, for Nakib Aslan, is a very, very ordinary qualification session.
Yeah, so he needs to try and get some points. It is so close between him and Josh. He's carrying 15 kilos of success ballast. Or is it Yeah, well, Josh is
6/10 down.
Wow.
A 150.9. He moved up into the third row, so it wasn't as devastating as perhaps it might have been, but that will be as good as it gets. And the likes of Alif are still to go. Lai Sky and Tadashi, who was quickest. Oh, he's a little bit down. Tadashi at the moment, 5/10 down on race 1. How about Mika Hakimi, who was quick last time out? Oh, he's down as well, quite a long way. So Inigo Anton, apologies to our Philippines followers. Inigo Anton are joined by Alessandro Ottaviani on the front row of the grid. Ottaviani just posting the fastest time, 150.1, 2/10 quicker than Inigo. Thasbeeh and Kalen Chin. Welcome back, Black Wolf Kalen. He's on the second row. Nabil and Muhammad Alif on third row. Purwien and Naqeem, 1 and 2 in the championship, out of the points in qualifying.
Wow. So
interesting.
Yeah, so our championship rivals, this is a super competitive grid. The championship rivals, Josh and Naqeem, not bringing it at the moment, and they are down on the 4th row. But wow, it's going to be a super exciting race. You've got Ottaviani up there. Inigo Anton. Ottaviani got it on pole.
Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah.
So Anton, though, we've not seen a win by Anton in a while. Could this be the race he does it? And Thasbeeh's not won in this global edition so far.
Inigo Anton has had a podium finish this year, but as you say, no victories. Right. Oh, tell you what, the wild cards, Alex. I keep asking if you're able just to tweak it a little bit, make it a little bit more difficult for the drivers, and I think you produced a little gem with Ottaviani and Muhammad Alif Hamilton as wildcards.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have them back on board. It's going to be a super competitive race. I think we're going to get a train of maybe 8-10 cars fighting for the lead. Of course, we say that, and then something happens in the first corner, and they all get split up. But it's going to be difficult to call.
eRacing GP. It is the global edition. The Motorland Aragon Grand Prix. 20 seconds to go. Alex Young will be replaced by Amir Hazik in the commentary box. And Amo can tell us an awful lot more about Ottaviani. But at the moment, all we need to know is that he is on pole position. And that the championship leaders, Naqeem Aslan and Josh Purwien, are out of the reckoning. Muhammad Thasbeeh on the second row. An opportunity for him to maybe make up some ground. Inigo Anton on the front row. Let's get on board with Ottaviani as the red lights go off, and Ottaviani is off to a rock-solid start behind him. But drivers are trying to make a real headway, but Ottaviani is into that first corner, Amo Hazik, whereas behind him, Thasbeeh has been clipped, and Thasbeeh has dropped 6 or 7 places.
Wow, that's the kind of start that Alessandro would have definitely wanted. He really knows how to pull away from the rest of the rest of the field when he gets his way. Now that he has gotten the all-important pole position, he will try to build a bit of a gap here between himself and Anton.
What I will say is that Naqeem Aslan has got himself up into P4. Remember, he was P6, and Josh Purwien has been dragged along with him as well. Sorry, he was P7 and 8. So Naqeem and Josh, who are the two main genuine contenders for the title, they are at the moment 4 and 5.
Yeah, and then the fact that they're following closely to each other also gives them a tactical advantage. They can actually catch each other's slipstream, and in case of DRS, they can actually try to pull away from the rest of the field. So they might be championship rivals in the standings, but they will know full well they will try to help each other out when it comes to actually navigating through the pack, so they can square off with each other towards the end.
We do need to go up to the front though, where Ottaviani has pulled out a near 1 second lead over Inigo Anton. He comes here with a big reputation, Alessandro Ottaviani. It looks on lap 1 to be a justified reputation, Amo.
Oh, absolutely, and the fact that he's also on the cusp of winning another championship outside of the Asian region, where we're in the Endurance Esports Championship, the one that Axel recently won a race in. He is in the championship contending BHK Motorsports number 16 car, and as you can see the name below there, Virtual Drives by TX3, also with a top team in race room, so definitely his reputation is well and truly deserved.
And he's pulled a second clear of Inigo Anton. He will be out of DRS range, whereas poor old Anton will soon be swamped by Nabil and Naqeem and Josh Purwien. It's a 1.1 second lead. Anton will find himself under intense pressure. Talk about Naqeem Aslan though, he's been quite sensible. He's leading a little train of cars. It's the blue for Naqeem, dragging Josh Purwien and Alif and Kalen Chin and Tadashi. That is a nice quintet of cars from P4 to P9.
I'll put a anime reference to anyone who knows it, but these are the quintessential quintets, to say the least. These guys are absolutely the best in the biz, and they're together right now, fighting for what is 4th place at the moment. But we know that these guys can do better, and we're just only at the start of the race, so we'll keep an eye on these guys as the race goes on.
Nakib Aslan holds on to P4 under pressure from Purwien. We've seen Josh Purwien win a race this year. He certainly needs to get points on Nakib. The overall championship standing is 104 to 91. If you take off their worst score, it's a 78 to 65. So both can afford an dodgy-ish weekend. And not suffer too much, but they won't want a dodgy-ish weekend. They'll want to have the choice at the end of round 5 which round to drop ammo.
Yeah, by their high standards, they definitely want to have every single points they could possibly get their hands on. And any of those bad rounds, even if it's just slight, they will like to get away. The quintessential quintet has become a 6 there because that's actually Kalen. I think another driver has joined me. I think it might have been Thasbeeh.
I think you're dead right. It is Muhammad Thasbeeh. We're on board with him here. He's behind Tadashi, Alif, Kalen, Josh Purwien and Nakib Aslan. In the meantime, we've rather not remarked... Sorry, Thasbeeh is the man bottom right of your screen. But we've not remarked about Inigo Anton. Inigo is the only one who's really been able to go alongside Ottaviani's pace.
And he will like to make up for that terrible mistake that he made towards the end of the Watkins Glen race in race 2, where he was trying to challenge for Ayman for the lead, overtook a bit too prematurely and ended up really wiping out into the barrier. So he will try to avoid that one and try to maximize the points he could get in this round.
Certainly, but at the moment he's 1.5 seconds down on Ottaviani. 1.7 seconds up on Mohammed Nabil. He's in kind of that mid-wasteland, which is, you've got to focus on what's going on ahead of you as he puts a lot of spin on that back wheel. But you also need to be very aware of those catching up behind you, Ammo.
Yeah, indeed. He is in no man's land at the moment, at least. But it's a kind of... Oh, he does it again. Look at that. That amount of slide is not going to help the tires much. He just wants to actually be in the... Actually, he'd rather be in this no man's land rather than fighting with the other drivers around him, because he can actually just focus on this race and try to at least catch up to Ottaviani whenever he can. At the moment, at least, it's only 1.1 seconds between himself and Alessandro, while Nabil is a further 2 seconds behind. So this is comfortable at the moment, at least, for Anton to actually make up for that rather disappointing end to the race last time out in Watkins Glen.
In that long train, it's more than quintet. I don't know what's 10. It's a decimal race, because from Kalen Chin in 4 right the way down to Jinmas Vilton in 14, even further down you've got just a train of cars, and the long straight could well see 1 or 2 changes of position.
In fact, all 20 drivers from all 17 drivers from 4th all the way to 21st are actually within that DRS range, so anybody could actually be slipstreaming each other right now. Look at that behind Kalen, behind 5th onwards. There's drivers actually swapping position. In fact, Josh is going to go onto the... Sorry, that Ayman, yes. Ayman's about to go onto the inside of Josh, and he's going to take him for 6th place. So Ayman gets a jump on Purwien. Purwien will probably not like that one, but he wants to actually get back as soon as possible because he's going to lose ground to Nakib.
That long straight really is a challenge, but didn't have that many change of position there. Kalen Chin able to hold on to P1. This is still our leader though. Alessandro Ottaviani, virtual drivers by TX3, leads by 1.3 seconds. Well, we keep wondering about our own superstars here in Asia, and suddenly an international class guy comes in and takes the lead. It's a little bit chastening for the best in Asia at the moment, Ammo.
Well, granted, he is driving with no ballast, so he's actually given free rein, to be honest, out in front to run away. But yes, if he comes back again, he's going to have to feel that weight of the ballast. But right now, at least, he's gotten the advantage of not having to worry about that and just streak away at the moment.
A lap time of 1:51.296. Interestingly, the next 7 racers have all had invalid laps, which suggests that they are pushing at the track limits and pushing at the limits of their abilities a little bit too much, perhaps.
Yeah, if they don't set any laps, that just, shows how much they are actually abusing the track limits. But not many drivers have gotten the warnings just yet. We only get on the timing screens, they went off track. So that's a sign of how much they're pushing. Like around here, you can see the amount of tarmac around the outside as Nabil goes a bit wide there and brings Kalen into play. So they're going to go toe-to-toe at the back straight.
So Nabil and Kalen Chin 3 and 4. Behind them, Naqib Aslan in P5. Purwien is tracking Naqib as closely as he can. Purwien's in P6. In fact, let's just go on to Josh Purwien, because Purwien is under pressure from Ayman Aqeem Tadashi. Pink on pink on pink. Purwien, Tazik, Aqeem Tadashi going on the inside. That's Muhammad Thasbeeh as well. Oh, it's stock car racing. Who spins out? It's Josh Purwien. Despite the smile, it's Purwien who spins out. That could be championship gone.
Well, not yet, because we still have one more round to go, and the fact that he can just drop this race, but that's not what he'd have wanted coming into this race, to be sent out into the back end of the top 15. We're not sure if he's going to be pulled for that particular spot, but that's not what we'd have wanted for sure.
In the meantime, P3, Mohammed Nabil and Kalen Chin going for it. Kalen Chin goes up on the inside. Nabil retakes that. So Chin into 3, then Nabil into 3 as they drag themselves around. Behind them, Naqib Aslan is a second down. This is Mohammed Nabil. He's maybe, I don't know whether there'll be some brotherly love in there. He just tries to hold up Kalen Chin, but the Black Wolf driver is looking aggressive. Goes on the inside, can't find a way through. Again has a look on the inside, and Naqib has closed in on that gap. So his brother, Amo, inadvertently has done him a favour.
Yeah, definitely, and this is going to be a bit of an atonement based on what happened last time out in Silverstone, to be honest. And, having said that, Kalen through, so nope, no atonement just about yet, but he can actually do his brother still a favour by battling with Kalen.
But he's allowed Naqib to get back into DRS range. That's what I was really alluding to, although Naqib has lost that. Naqib 0.8 of a second out. We're coming to the tail end of lap number 5. Alessandro Ottaviani is the clear leader. This is the chain down the long straight. Naqib needs to keep close. Is he close? 0.7, 0.8 of a second behind Nabil and Kalen Chin. He'd love DRS. He'd love a podium finish.
And he didn't have DRS that time round, so he's going to have to wait until the end of this lap and the start of the next one to actually get it. He's within about 7/10 of a second, so he will get DRS, and likewise Nabil as well will also get DRS in front of him as well. So the two brothers have the advantage of DRS for this lap, and they can actually attack Kalen for their worth.
Behind them, Muhammad Thasbeeh, he's the next to lead the chain. So this is for P6 now. Ayman Aqeem 7, Tadashi 8. Muhammad Alif is looking to move into P8, but it's Thasbeeh. Now Thasbeeh had a disappointing week last week, 13 points, but he's not out of the championship reckoning either. Certainly a top 3 is a possibility. Naqib is the championship leader, but Purwien, who is now in P13, he's catchable in P2 in the championship.
And Thasbeeh has been very consistent so far. In fact, the worst finish he's had all season has been an 8th, and that was last time in Watkins Glen. So he has been chipping away at Naqib by getting the points. And if any of the worst runs comes, like in this round or the next round, he can still have, points to put on the board to actually help him out in the championship stakes. So we have to keep an eye out for Thasbeeh, because he could be the dark horse here for the championship title.
A wild card is Muhammad Alif Hamilton. As Alif in the yellow from Team Flash, racing out of Singapore. He's right on the tail there of Ayman Aqeem Tadashi. Ahead of them, Naqib Aslan has taken P4 ahead of his brother. So Naqib now has Kalen Chin to look out for left. 4 minutes to race. We've got to go and see how Ottaviani is doing. It is a procession for Alessandro Ottaviani. Whoa! Talk about coming in and biting the hand that has invited you in so politely.
Indeed. In fact, that he's just like so happily taking this opportunity with both hands. Pretty much like Valentino Rossi when he won here in Aragon. So pretty much an Italian winning on Spanish soil is something that we've seen before.
Indeed, we are in Europe, aren't we?
So he's right at home. He's definitely right at home.
So here is Ottaviani. Now, what have we got? 2 laps left. They are lapping. That was a 1:52.9 from Ottaviani. Even then, he's quickest. 1:51.2 is the fastest lap by Ottaviani. So it looks like he is going to... Actually, a 1:51.2 is... It looks like he's going to pick up maximum points. Now, what that will do to the championship. Let's talk about Inigo Anton, because he has been able to keep the pace. He has been able to stick into P2, Ammo.
Yeah, in fact, only 2 seconds. Yes, he's not going to get DRS, but granted, he has driven a very smart race, a very calm race too, compared to what happened last time in Watkins Glen. So he's learned from that, and he's gonna get some very good points. Probably gonna catch third place Thasbeeh, or maybe even Josh Purwien. So that battle for second is gonna be hotting up. Whereas Naqib Aslan will pull away from the guy in second, in this case Josh, for the leader championship. So it's looking very good for Naqib, but granted, we have not had drop scores applied yet.
Indeed. 64 points coming into this round, the total for Inigo Anton. You mentioned Nabil and Naqib having a little bit of history. Well, Nabil has pinched P4 again from Naqib. I bet they used to have fantastic pillow fights when they were kids.
I mean, we don't know we do pillow fights in this country, but yeah, we'll take that. So yeah, brotherly, a bit of rivalry between the two brothers, but a very healthy one at that. And Nabil, of course, we did mention earlier, tries to atone for that rather big mistake that he made towards the end of the Silverstone round that gave the championship to Dylan. So we have not seen that yet to, Nabil helping out his brother. They did fight with Kalen earlier. Kalen has now pulled away. He's back up to second as Naqib actually loses it coming into the hairpin, and he has lost ground to Nabil. So that's crucial now. That is going to get everybody else behind him closer together now.
Yeah, Naqib Aslan suddenly finds a little bit of pressure from your namesake, Ayman Aqeem. I can't let your last comment go. If you don't do pillow fights as kids, what do you do?
Play football. I mean, that's the short answer, because I grew up with kids playing football, so that's pretty much it.
Okay, right then, further down, let's have a look at Josh Purwien. Josh, well, we saw him smile through gritted teeth when he was pushed off the track earlier on. He is now in P12. It's not looking to be a good day. He's chuntering away to himself, but he can't be happy with how things have turned out.
Yeah, and the only consolation I would think of for Josh at the moment is that if any of these positions that he's finished right now will be pole position. So we don't know yet. We have not gotten word from Alex where pole position is for this race. Oh, top 15 apparently. So 15th place right now will be Darren Avenragen. So he's actually close to the front, albeit the second race will not offer as many points, but a win will do him no harm at all in the grand scheme of things.
Great call. Yeah, Josh Purwien, the reverse grid will be a reverse grid of 15. Purwien will be on the second row as it stands. Now this is a battle between Nabil, Naqib in the blue, and Ayman Aqeem. And Ayman is making a move, and Naqib isn't looking as smooth and as clean as normal, and is under real pressure from Ayman Aqeem.
Well, he'll be wishing that there'll be someone of his namesake racing with him right now to help out, but he's on the other side commentating, watching this at the moment against the two brothers. So here's Ayman. He's got the slipstream and the DRS. Both brothers pull onto the one side, so that's very much normal defensive maneuvers. But the DRS, look at that, the strength of the DRS and the slipstream has gotten Ayman up to 5th. Now he can actually challenge Nabil further up in front in 5th place, but nothing to it. As, whoa, a bit of a slide coming through the hairpin. Ayman Aqeem will still have the DRS next time by. Nabil here looking like a sitting duck.
Naqib going backwards. He's just lost ground as we join the race leader, Ottaviani.
The
win has gone to Alessandro Ottaviani. The victory is his. Inigo Anton has got P2. There was such a good battle going on lower down. But the checkered flag is there for Alessandro Ottaviani on his debut as a wild card. And it was so impressive. We kind of ignored him because of what was going on in the real championship behind him.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that we were on the final lap and we're going to go for the interview. Alex is going to take over for this one.
So, Alessandro Ottaviani, I'm not sure whether we have him on Zoom.
No, we don't, but we can try and talk to Inigo Anton.
So, Inigo, who comes second, a very good second for Inigo.
Yeah, so Inigo, we'll just try and chat to him if we can, see if he's listening. I don't think he's actually listening in on us at the moment. Yeah, I think he's focused on race 2. I don't think he has time for the commentary. Inigo, can you hear us?
Yeah, hello guys. Hi.
That was a really strong race, I thought. P2, you should be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm very happy since, the past rounds I haven't actually gotten into the podium yet, knowing that I had the speed, but at least this race, I just kept it clean, stayed out of trouble from the first lap and, just focused on. Yeah, it was pretty hard to catch though for first, but, he's really quick. So hopefully race 2 will be also a good result.
Okay. Well, congratulations. We'll leave you so you can focus on race 2 coming up.
Thank you.
Inigo Anton, a P2 for him. He did himself down. He has had a podium already this season. He's not had a P2 though. Ottaviani taking maximum points, virtual drivers by TX3. 25 points for the win and the fastest lap, which was a sizzling 151.2. Anton second. Kalen Chin ahead of Nabil. Ayman Thasbeeh, Ayman Aqeem, Alif in 8. Naqib Aslan must have had a puncture because he dropped down to P9. That opens up the overall championship. Amo Hazik back in the chair. P9 for Naqib Aslan. Interesting.
Wow. And we thought that we was going to get more points on Josh Purwien in this case. So that actually has given a bit of a ray of light for Josh to actually close up to him now that he's actually further up in front for the second race. So this is going to be interesting in the grand scheme of things for the championship as we head into the final round after this.
Indeed, we're at the Motorland Aragon Grand Prix circuit. It is eRacing GP. Season 5, Round 4, Race 2. We have got a couple of wild cards who are really causing one or two flutters to go on amongst the regular racers. Ottaviani won Race 1, but he'll be starting in P15 in race number 2. On pole will be Paul Faustino from the Philippines alongside Joaquim Garrido, Masvilton and Josh Purwien on the second row. And let's drive along with Josh Purwien.
Oh!
See what he does behind them. Who is that who's gone down?
That's
Kalen Chin is out.
I think that was Naqib because that blue car is normally Naqib's. I think he just stalled it on the grid. So
Naqib Aslan is indeed stalled. Oh, what a twist. What a turn to this championship.
And the more incident further up on the road there in turn 1. But that's the biggest one of the lot. That could easily open up the championship even more now. And Josh Purwien, what looked like a hopeless situation earlier, has turned into a ray of sunshine as he drives into the Spanish sunset in Alcaniz. He is looking good here to take the championship lead if he wins this race, of course.
Be still thy beating heart must be what Josh Purwien is thinking. Opportunity knocks for the Australian. He's got the rear end of Jin Masvilton ahead of him in the yellow BMW. Paul Faustino there behind him. He's got the likes of Joaquim Garrido and Muhammad Alif Hamilton. But Naqib is back on the circuit, Naqib. But he had that catastrophic moment and will undoubtedly score no points here, and he'll only score 7 points from race 1. This will be his drop round, of course.
Oh, definitely. He's going to drop this one, and Josh might be as well. But if he can actually turn this around, he could actually still be saying that putting this round as one of his favorites to actually take into the final race. So anything can still happen here. Josh is not certain to actually lead the championship just yet because he's just third at the moment. But if he wins this, he actually could close the gap up completely to Naqib. So whatever happened to Naqib at the start there has thrown a spanner into the works and it has opened up everything.
The man in the mask, Paul Faustino, is the man who leads as Masvilton and Joaquim Garrido take out Jin Masvilton. For a moment, I thought it was Purwien. But Masvilton is the man who spins out of contention. Let's have a look at Ottaviani. He's made his way up into P8 at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, and the Ottaviani actually made his way halfway up the grid now because due to the fact that what happened to Masvilton just now, he's actually climbed up all the way to 7th. So he's cloning his way through the field rapidly, and he's going to go up to the back of, that's not Thasbeeh, I think that's another BMW, that's actually Alif. So the two drivers that we singled out, actually 2 drivers we singled out respectively to be the ones doing the business are right behind each other.
That's Thasbeeh looking backwards. Harry Zephyr is there as well. Inigo Anton gets himself up into P9. Up at the front, Josh Purwien is about to make an effort to get into P1. Purwien would love this opportunity to pick up 15 points available as they come sweeping down the S's on this hill. What kind of a drive does Purwien get out? Paul Faustino is the man who's ahead of him. Faustino, to his credit, has been pretty quick. He was first on the grid in this reverse grid race, and he's still leading Amo Hazik.
Yeah, amazingly he's held it off, and the fact that Josh has not used his DRS yet. In fact, he still has 3 uses of DRS still, so he's saving it up to actually use it at the final possible stretch, which is right about here. After turn 13 and 14, he's going to use the DRS and he will power his way past. And good news for him as well, he still has extra DRS to use towards the end for the end of the next lap. So there we go. He's using it now, remaining to slipstream onto the inside, and he takes the lead away from Paul Faustino.
Poor Josh Purwien, the new race leader. Does he become the new championship leader as well? That is the intriguing possibility. It could well have changed dramatically for Naqeem. Remember, Naqeem, 3 times a runner-up, 1 time 4th in ERGP. Surely he couldn't lose out a 5th time. That would be so hard to take. But Josh Purwien, nerves of steel at the moment. I tell you what, that's a smile. It's a cheeky little smile, Ammo.
Yeah, he's probably talking to a few friends on the Discord as well, strategists even, just to give him a pep up and say that, well, you got the lead now, try to hold on to it, and probably crack the joke. That's why he's actually smiling while he's driving right now.
Well, Paul Faustino will have DRS on him because he wasn't able to leave him behind. A little bit further down. Let's see, where is... We've got to follow the championship leader, Naqeem, and Naqeem is miles down.
Oh.
Naqeem is pulling into the pits.
I think into possibly retirement because there's no... Oh, wait. He can still go for the fastest lap, so I think he's going to change tires and try to nick off a bit of points from the guys in front as much as possible. So, yeah, this might be just a strategic... No, actually, no. Spoke too soon. He's retired from the race, so...
Yeah, no points. This is his wasted round. Wasted round. This is the round that you can throw away as you can. You can throw away 1 set of scores. Josh Purwien hopes to capitalise as much as he can. The worst round before this, for Naqeem, was 26 points. Same for Josh, for that matter.
Yeah, in fact, they're both very even Stevens on that front. But the worst possible finish for Naqeem has been 7, while Josh is 9th. So they have actually maximized their, minimized the damage limitations, you might say, for the points that they were going to drop. In fact, Josh, even when he finished 9th, he still scored the fastest lap. So he still gained points here. So it's just every little bit possible where they try to get points and save their championship. They've done that already. This is possibly the worst run for both of them, but it might not be the worst.
Mika Hakimi leads a train in P3. Mika won a race last week.
Oh.
He's lost a position there to Dashi, who went so wide. Dashi got that so wrong.
And nobody's spinning. Oh, that's Ottaviani. Ottaviani has actually dropped it there while Ayman actually went off into the runoff area. So 2 things happening at the same time. There he was. That's Ottaviani actually was spinning in the mid-pack. So everything happening right about there.
Wow, that was fascinating. So Tadashi disappeared and then has got himself back on track. Ayman Aqeem. Josh Purwien is the man who is still leading the way. Muhammad Alif is in there. Harry Zephi is in there. Lai Sky is in there. This is Ayman Aqeem. Let's not forget Ayman Aqeem in the overall standings as he gets just on the inside of Inigo, who was bashed out of contention.
And I think Mika was involved in that one as well because Thasbeeh actually was the big beneficiary of the lot. He's in front, while Alif has not been able to actually gain ground on that. In fact, surprisingly, Alif has not had a good round in his return to the championship.
Let's not forget Tadashi in the bigger scheme of things. He picked up points in race 1. If he picks up decent points here in race 2, he'll pull himself closer to Josh Purwien.
And indeed, Inigo, well, Inigo actually has had a strong round as well. In fact, there's the championship contenders, 4th and 5th, right beside, going line the stern, coming through the chicane area. Mika has actually gotten a bit ahead of them, while Thasbeeh is actually streaking away as well. So they're clear of this battle. The guys in 5th and 6th, well, 4th and 5th in the championship are going to be going at it hammer and tongs coming into the final sector.
Mika Hakimi currently in P4. That's Muhammad Thasbeeh in front of him. He's got Tadashi behind him. And this long straight. It really does seem to go on forever down the hill. You're almost willing that corner, which is has got a big runoff just to come your way. And Hakimi will lose a position to Ayman Aqeem Tadashi. Was that the one where Tadashi went off last time?
Yep. He tried to pull a move on Mika last time out, but Mika gave him the room. Ayman went wide. This time he's just given him more space and Ayman got moved on. All the while then he actually invited Inigo Anton into play as well. So he's going to get nicked 2 positions, 1 corner, 3 even, if Alif gets through. Side by side they go. And Mika then, for his gentlemanly part, has actually lost out 2 positions, almost 3 even to Alif.
7 minutes to go. We're just over halfway. Amo Hazik in the commentary box as Josh Purwien leads the way from Paul Faustino, who refuses to be beaten away. Now, we've not spoken about a possibility of a Paul Faustino victory. He is in rarefied atmosphere for him when he's never been on a podium ever, I don't think.
Yeah, in fact, his best finish so far has only been 9th, and that was in the Red Bull Ring. That was weeks ago now, so he hasn't had a good finish since then. Yeah, occasional points finish here every now and then, but a podium for him, that's a rarity, and it'll be a bonus if he could try to steal a win from Josh now.
Josh would be happy.
No, he won't be. He definitely won't be happy. That smile that he's having right now, he is actually comfortable. But if he got Paul Faustino trying to knock on his door and steal that position, he'll go, Aussie grit and try to hold off that position. In fact, he's a bit small right now. No Aussie grits just yet. But if Faustino gets any closer, in fact, he's within DRS range. He has DRS this time. He's gonna get closer for the next lap, so he's gonna have to watch his back here for the next 6 minutes.
What have we got? 6 minutes to go. 4 laps probably. This plus 4, maybe not. This plus 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4, give or take, because it all depends on how fast Josh crosses the line now for the next lap. So Josh is the dictator of his own destiny, shall we say? So he can actually control it right now. Whether or not he could actually have one last lap to control the pace up in front and hold off Faustino.
At the moment, he's got a 1 second lead, Josh Purwien, over Paul Faustino, and so he will be out of DRS range. His destiny is his own in this race. If you drive well, young fella, you will win this race. 3 laps to go. That's the calculation. They're lapping around about the 152 mark. 3 laps. This plus 2.
Yep. So this is the third to last lap. Next time by will be penultimate, and Josh then looking so good here to recover the lost points that he dropped, literally coming into out of the hairpin in race 1. So it might not be enough to take the championship lead, but crucially, it's still points on the board for him because he has got points in every round so far.
Let's have a look at a battle going on for P4 between Inigo Anton, who got himself a podium in race number 1. He's 4th at the moment, but he's under immense pressure from Ayman Aqeem Tadashi. Here is Inigo Anton. Oh, Tadashi. Tadashi's fun to watch, He drives on the limits, Tadashi, and Inigo Anton is having to defend the line beautifully.
And if you watch his zooms, of course, he always puts his heart in his sleeves, as what Danny Woodrow would say, because he really shows his emotion when he races. I think he should be calmer by now because he's trying to actually keep himself calm while racing, as Anton nearly loses it himself. Ayman just needs to keep his emotions in check while driving so that he could actually be calm and try not to lose his head when he's chasing for glory.
You drivers, you're so sensible. Show us your emotions, Ayman Aqeem. So Inigo. Now then, Inigo, is he about to be taken by Tadashi? Tadashi moves to the inside and eases past on that never-ending straight. But Inigo will just try to stay in the slipstream because he will, if he can, he will have DRS on the next lap against Tadashi.
Yes, he would. And in fact, the roles will be reversed for that next lap if Anton could keep up with him. In fact, he cannot even use the DRS at the first sector because it's all wiggly bits. The second and third sectors where they're all straights, that's when he could actually have the opportunity to use it. So he's got DRS this time. In fact, he has a healthy helping of 3 uses of DRS. He can try to actually use it whenever he could, especially when there's enough straights.
Up at the front, Paul Faustino, for so long chasing P1, is now under pressure from Muhammad Thasbeeh. Let's not forget that Thasbeeh is still in championship contention as well. Purwien, Thasbeeh, Tadashi and Inigo all had decent rounds, very decent rounds this time out, whereas Naqib Aslan has had a nightmare.
Yeah, an absolute nightmare, and probably not even of his own doing, because sometimes when you actually stall on the grid, it's normally because that the game froze. So he might have had a game freeze at the worst possible moment and he couldn't start the race. So that's why he's out of the race and he didn't bother trying to actually aim for the fastest lap, because there's no point chasing other drivers when you're out of it.
Thasbeeh eases on the inside of Paul Faustino, and Muhammad Thasbeeh in the yellow vehicle moves into P2 in race number 2. That is worth 12 points. Credit to Paul Faustino. I tell you what, Faustino is driving better and more competitively than I can recall, as he just nearly takes the back end and then comes under pressure from Ayman Aqeem. My apologies to Paul Faustino, praising just at the time he didn't look at his best.
Commentator's blind at the worst possible moment for him, but he probably didn't know that we were talking about him at that time. Now he's going to have to play defense against a really bunch of fast guys, including Ayman Aqeem and Inigo Anton, his fellow countryman. He's defending onto the inside. Ayman tries to go on the outside. Nothing to it yet. And if Faustino can actually keep up within a second to Thasbeeh, he'll have DRS to retaliate back. But it looks impossible right now because Thasbeeh has DRS coming through the final corner. And that's it. Faustino's chance of a podium looks like it's hanging by a thread.
Yeah, Muhammad Thasbeeh in P2 on to the final lap. Yeah, this will be the final lap. Thasbeeh just needs to make sure that he can do this properly. Inigo Anton is now up into P3. Tell you what, Inigo comes into championship reckoning, Amo Hazik.
Yeah, it looks like it, to be honest, because the fact that he's ahead right now of Ayman Aqeem, it's going to be crucial for him. He wants to stay ahead as Ayman goes onto the inside of Faustino. These are two drivers who are not part of the same team, but they are both countrymen, so the Filipinos sticking up for each other again. And Anton here will be thankful that it's Faustino between himself and Aqeem.
Pinoy Pride is available to all to see. Inigo Anton in P3. Now then, he's got that battle behind him. Let's give some TLC to Josh Purwien, though. He is on the final lap. He's 2.5 seconds clear of Muhammad Thasbeeh. It will be a situation where cumulatively he may well become very, very close to Naqib Aslam, but Naqib will throw these points away. But there could be a real challenge going into the final round of Season 5 of eRacing GP. Exactly what we want, Amo.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a similar situation what we had from the last Global Edition, where the championship went all the way to the final corner. So can't wait for that one next week. On which track, we're not sure yet. But we're pretty sure we're going to see Naqib, Josh, Thasbeeh, Anton, and Aqeem all within a shout to win this championship.
Purwien from Thasbeeh. That is a winning smile from young Josh Purwien. Better hadn't celebrate too much because Thasbeeh's been able to pull in a full second so far in this lap. But Josh Purwien... Oh! What's happened to Josh?
What's Josh doing? In fact, he's smiling right now.
What's happened to Josh?
Josh, what are you doing, Josh?
He thought he won. Muhammad Thasbeeh is the winner. Josh Purwien has made... Something has happened to Josh Purwien.
What?
And Muhammad Thasbeeh has won. Muhammad Thasbeeh will pick up the points. Inigo Anton, another P2. Tadashi 3. Ali 4. Zini 5. Purwien just disappearing out of the championship race. Out of the race. Muhammad Thasbeeh is the willing recipient. It was 2 corners to go. And Josh Purwien rolls to a stop. Great work, Amo Hazik. Alex Young, investigation begins right now.
Wow. So, okay, first of all, I think we have to talk to Thasbeeh. We don't know what happened to Josh. We'll try and get Josh on the dog and bone in a second. But we have to talk to Thasbeeh first. We don't really know what happened to Josh. I don't know what happened. It didn't look like he had an issue. It looked like he just steered off to the side. But anyway, let's talk to race 2 winner, Muhammad Thasbeeh from Singapore. Thasbeeh, congrats on the win. A little bit unexpected.
Yeah, it was really unexpected. I mean, I thought I was going to get P2, but then on the last sector, I suddenly caught up to Josh by 1 second, and he just went wide on the last corner. So a bit lucky, but I don't know how I got the win. Yeah, but I'm happy.
Yeah, so, I mean, difficult day for you. Race 1 didn't quite go so well for you, but race 2 was a lot better, yeah?
Yeah, because I think it's mostly about the positioning on the track and getting the DRS off the rest. So race 1, I didn't quite get the positioning correct and lost a lot of time. But race 2, got it spot on. And I won the race somehow.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That still keeps you in the championship hunt with obviously Josh Purwien and Naqib having bad races.
Yeah,
well done.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
There is the confirmation. Muhammad Thasbeeh from Team Flash goes into Championship Reckoning. Inigo Anton, Championship Reckoning. What a weekend for him. Tadashi in Championship Reckoning. Great for him. Alif was a wild card ahead of Zini and Paul Faustino, who was as good as I've seen Paul Faustino drive. Mika Hakimi, quick again. Haris Zephi in P8. Kalen Chin, fastest lap of consolation for P9. Ottaviani in the points. Winner last time, P10 here. So this is a recorded bit after the event. We did an interview with Josh Purwien, and I've got to say I was very, very unhappy with the answer. Josh Purwien deliberately pulled over to the side of the road because he didn't want to have a ballast for next week. To me, sporting integrity was thrown out of the window by Josh Purwien. I am absolutely fuming at that lack of sporting integrity. But Alex, you're the organizer, and your hands are tied.
Well, absolutely, yeah. It's a little grey area that they've exploited here. Basically, they have to drop a round between rounds 1 to 4. So since this round wasn't going to be higher than his lowest round anyway in the championship, he decided to, I'm just going to back out of the win here because I'll use this as the drop round scores. And more importantly, I won't carry ballast for the final round, round 5. It's quite clever, I guess you could say. It wasn't in the spirit of the rules, for sure. And we'll have to have a look at that next time.
Yeah, so the spirit has been spoiled. But in terms of the actual event, next week is a showdown between Naqeeb Aslan. Come on, Naqeeb. No, I'm neutral, aren't I? Naqeeb Aslan against Josh Purwien for the title. There's an interesting battle for P3 as well. Thasbeeh, with that surprise win, is back into it. Also into it is Ayman Aqeem Tadashi. And of course, after 2 second places, Inigo Anton. They will be battling for P3. But we are taking you, as normal with ERGP, down to the final corner of the final race of the season.